Going live. What's up? Look, the moon's out, guys, tonight from my car, but I wasn't getting good signal on my car, so I'm gonna, come out here and do this from the seawall. And let's see how good of a stream I can get. I'm having to do most of this here. Let me turn it around. Let's see if you guys can see me. I have nobody running the camera. Make sure you guys can see. Get this the best look that I can get. Hold on, let me right there. Let me see. All right, what's up, guys? How are you doing? Welcome to the Tuddle Daily live stream. I gotta see how this is looking so far. I get my dad's phone so I can monitor what's going on, so you guys can see, so I can see and see how it looks. What's up? Hold on, let me see how it sounds. Oh, it's looking pretty good so far. I got the moon in the back. Look at that. That actually looks kind of cool. Hey guys, so please share this. Please share this on your social media. I've been doing this live stream and I'm trying to, kind of make it as something that I can do and help promote my podcast, the daily podcast. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, I'm trying to find some music for my podcast. Here, hold on. I'm gonna play some music for you. I hate when they do the video versions. Here we go. Ready? So yeah, what's up, guys? Hope you guys have been enjoying all the content that I'm putting out. Can't play too much of this music or I'll get, they'll ban me from YouTube. So I can play a little bit of it. I'll turn that down. Let me go to my stream so I can actually monitor what's going on. Guys, if you've not checked out my podcast yet, please do. It's a daily. It's the Tuddle Daily Podcast. And if you're watching this live stream right now, please share it with everybody. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't give a fuck. Just share it. Let people know that I'm going live right now. I got 5 people on here. What's up, Cold Hams? What's up, Mike Draper? Mike Draper and Cold Hams. They're some of the most hardcore Team Tuddle people, the people that actually support me and help me out. But check out my podcast. My podcast is now available, the Tuddle Daily Podcast. I'm a day ahead now, so you guys can check out the podcast in the morning. Did you see Kenneth Copeland blowing away the coronavirus? No, I did not see that. Oh, yes. Yeah, I did see Kenneth Copeland. He is the pastor, the guy that believed that he could blow away the virus, the coronavirus, by blowing on his congregation. God, some of these Christians, these pastors, are absolutely blowing my mind. The only reason that these pastors are wanting these people to show up to church on Sundays is because the collection plate is getting a little too light. And that's the only reason. That is the only reason why these people want their people in their congregation to show up for church. Because they're not getting that money. That money's paying for all those expensive cars and private jets and nice suits that these pastors are wearing. So, yes, I did see that. What's up, Edward Regal? What's up, Edward? So, But yeah, check out my podcast. It's available on many platforms. So I'm trying to get it on Google Play, but right now I am on iHeartRadio, the iTunes podcast, as well as Spotify. All you have to do is go on any of those platforms, search the Tuddle Podcast, and if you want to get a direct link, the website that I host my podcast, if you want to get it directly, go to Tuddle with two D's, Tuddle.podomatic.com. That's Podomatic, Matic.com. So that is Tuddle.podomatic.com. You can check out the direct link, the website that I actually host my podcast on. So there's many ways you can listen to it. I already post. I'm a day ahead now, so hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying my podcast more with it being on early in the morning. But what I'm trying to say is that on the podcast that you'll be getting on Tuesday is it's going to be talking about George W. Bush. You know, George W. Bush, at the time, a lot of people in the United States thought that George W. Bush was one of the worst presidents that we've ever had. And I've said this many times, and I only bring it up because a lot of people that maybe haven't listened, I don't support any political party. I don't support Republicans. Sinuses are really bad here, so I'm not sick with the corona. But I don't support Republicans, Democrats, Independents. I think all politicians are crooked. But George W. Bush got a lot of flack. A lot of people thought that George W. Bush was going to be by far one of the worst presidents in the history of the United States. And now looking back on it, is George W. Bush does not seem like that bad of a president. He really doesn't, because there's audio coming out of George W. Bush talking from 2005 about how one of the biggest dangers that faces our country is a pandemic, a virus, a bacteria, some type of pandemic taking us out. And George W. Bush was ahead of the game. Yes, he had a lot thrown onto his lap. George W. Bush had a lot thrown onto his lap. Fuck. The guy was reading children's book to kindergartners, first graders, second graders. I think the name of the book was My Pet Goat. And just because our president, so Trump is 45, Obama would be 44. So president, number 43 did not react quick enough, and everybody lost their shit because he didn't freak out in front of a bunch of kindergartners and first graders when his aide leaned down over his shoulder and whispered into his ear about the first plane hitting the World Trade Center. And people gave him shit. How would you have reacted? You being as an ordinary, everyday citizen, how would you have reacted if somebody would have leaned over your shoulder while you're reading a book named My Pet Goat to a bunch of children? You couldn't have freaked out, because you would have freaked out, you'd have made the little kids cry. So, what I'm thinking is that, President Bush got a lot of flack, especially our war on terror. But a lot of people don't bring this up about President George W. Bush, number 43, that he gave one of the greatest speeches. Made me feel proud to be an American when everybody, the Supreme Court, Congress, the presidential branch ended up getting together. I don't think it was a State of the Union address, but they got all together and he gave this great speech, one of these powerful speeches us as Americans wanted to hear after we were attacked by terrorists on 9/11. And he pretty much told all the countries that could be harboring these terrorists, Al-Qaeda, whoever it was, Osama bin Laden, he pretty much told them, if you're a country that is harboring any of these people, we will hold you responsible just like you were the terrorists themselves. But George W. Bush came out with this audio, and it's going public right now, about him talking about how we need to be prepared for these pandemics. Man, that moon is killing it in the background. I could not ask for a better backdrop. What's your opinion on Dr. Charles Lieber about selling the coronavirus to China? Please address this when you are done with the president. Now, Mike, you gotta listen. Now, unlike most of these talking heads, these hosts of 24-hour news network cycles like CNN, Fox News, and MSNBC, I'm not going to give my opinion on something that I'm not well versed on. I'm not going to go into it blindly. So I'll do a little bit of research on it, Mike, and maybe on tomorrow's podcast or maybe the live stream, I'll talk about it. And I'll give you my opinion on it. But I don't want to jump in and give my opinion on something that I'm half-cocked on, because I really don't know much about it. But I will do the research, I promise. But just talking about this is that George W. Bush was so far ahead of the game, and he warned everybody. And this is one of the things that I talked about on the podcast that I'll air tomorrow, is that these presidents, yes, we have to have term limits. We don't want a monarchy type regime over the United States of America. So 8 years is just enough. But what happens with these presidents that, okay, that's why I like and trust your opinion. Yeah, I'll give you my opinion tomorrow. But back to what I was saying about these presidents is that they come in, they do a lot of good work. Like, I'll give you an example with Obamacare. Say what you want, Obamacare was not one of those things that should have been a partisan type topic. Everybody, you should want every American citizen to have health care in some ways. Do I think they should get it for free? No. If they can pay for it, yes, I really, really do. Because my parents worked all their lives and nobody really gave them anything. The only assistance we had when I was growing up is that I got reduced lunch. Because both of my parents were working. We weren't rich, but we weren't like fucking white trash dirt poor. And I had reduced lunch. And that's the only government assistance that I can think of that myself and my parents took in. That take. Bush warned everybody, but confessed failed to act. Yeah, I agree, Edward. I really, really do. Hi from Hollywood, Florida. What's up, Ray B? Thank you for joining me. I'm just saying is that George W. Bush, a lot of these people like to hate on these presidents, but what I like to tell you is that, and I've had this feeling, I don't support any politicians. I think that they're all fucking crooked, but it's not their fault. These guys that turn out to be presidents, they get caught up in it. You get these guys that want to run for presidency of the United States of America. Yeah, they want to change. They want to change things when they get into office. But once they get into office, they as politicians are set aside and they're told, these are the lobbyists. These are the people that gave you money. They gave you money and got you elected in office. So you owe them. You owe them something. You have to repay the favor. So that's why I think a lot of politicians, especially presidents, are kind of locked into it. I think they go with the flow and they go into it thinking that they're going to make changes, but it's not possible. I want to see whoever is president. I don't give a damn if it's Republican, Democrat, Independent. Whoever is president, I want to see them do well. I respect the office of the President of the United States of America. I want to see them good, but do well. Because if they're doing well, that means our country is doing well. And I just hate it when I see some of these politicians that are happy to see Trump struggling right now. Who wants to see that? Who wants to see our president struggle right now? I'll call presidents out when they do bad, but when they do good, I'll give them all the credit in the world. Like for example, with Trump, for the right to choose to be able to take a medication if you're sick, and they've pretty much, and the doctors and the nurses and the healthcare professions have come to you and said, hey, we are at the end of our rope right now. There's not much we can do for you right now, and you're going to die. If we don't do something, if we don't take a risk, you're going to die. And I think it's great what Trump did. And I know I'll get a lot of flack off of this because people hate Trump so much that they can't give the man credit when he does something right. But him making it possible for people to get drugs that there might be a small percentage that might be able to help them out. It might be a very, very small percentage that maybe it might help somebody out that is on their deathbed, that's knocking on death's door. Those people getting to take those drugs that Trump is making it possible for them could save their lives. So, like I said, there's not a lot of things that I agree with Trump on, but I got to give him credit when he does something right. When he does something right, I'm going to give him all the praise that he deserves. So there's a lot of stuff going on, and like I said, guys, I try to find things to talk about that's not coronavirus related, and I've done a lot of show prep for some of the biggest shows out there. Have you heard the 5G conspiracy theories with COVID? What is your opinion? I think it is absolutely one of the most fucking ridiculous things that I've ever heard with these people. You know what? These 5G people that are saying that 5G has something to do with the coronavirus they make the flat earthers, the people that believe that the earth is flat, they look like geniuses compared to the people at 5G that they think that 5G has anything to do with them. China released the COVID. Who believes it comes from bats? Come on. No. There's a lot of scientists, infectious disease doctors that I have a lot of faith in, that I respect and believe that they don't have any agenda, that they're not like following political lines. And Michael Osterholm, I believe him. They say that they can the carbon fiber and carbon data to where this coronavirus came from. And they said, I've heard two stories. It either comes from a bat or a scaly anteater, and that's what I've heard so far. So, no, I don't believe that it is produced out of a Chinese lab. But back to what I was saying is I'm trying to get away from it. I'm trying to find things to talk about because I think, and I'm not on the radio right now, and I feel I'm very apprehensive of calling myself a broadcaster because right now I'm not on the air. I'm not on TV. I'm not on video broadcast, TV news. I'm not on radio, FM or AM or terrestrial radio, but a lot of people look down on it because I'm doing a podcast right now. You know what, guys? I had some jobs lined up. I had some mom and pop independent radio station radio gigs lined up, and then this coronavirus popped up, and they told me that I needed to hold off. They told me not to give up on the opportunity of employment, but it's not going to happen anytime soon until this whole pandemic's gone. But me doing this podcast, and I've said this podcast, it's helped me keep my name out there. It's helped me keep my mouth, my vocabulary, my brain. It's helped my brain, my mouth, my vocabulary, my grasp of current events and everything going on in the news. It's helped me exercise that part of my life because us as radio broadcasters or TV broadcasters, we have to exercise our tools, our God-given tools, the things that we're comfortable with. We have to exercise those because I've gone through long stints where I've been employed, but I've also had some bad luck where I've gone maybe 6 to 9 months where I've been out of radio. And when I first come back, yeah, I'm rusty. So this podcast, in my opinion, has made me a better broadcaster. It's helped me be able to host a show on my own and drive the topics, play audio, edit it, drive it, produce it, and make it sound great. As you've noticed, when I've been doing these podcasts, they've been anywhere in between 22 and 30 minutes. And now, this week and the week and a half, they've gotten longer and longer and longer. I'm getting more comfortable. I'm getting in my zone. I don't want to compare myself to one of these elite athletes, but I'm in my zone right now. And this podcast has completely helped me. What's up, Kathy Z? What's up? What does that mean, Kathy Z? Am I missing something? And if you're watching this, you want to try to call me out and say, "Oh, Tuddle's not being sober. Tuddle's not being sober." You know what? Still not drinking. I'm off all the psychotropic drugs. The only medication that I'm on, these are the pills that I take on a daily basis. I've been running a lot. I take 2 Advil in the morning. I take one of those airborne pills, which is highly concentrated with vitamin C. Brady in Tampa wore a Tuddle. Oh, Edward Riggle. Hey, you must be a Jim Rome fan. What's up, James Turner from Virginia? But Edward, Brady in Tampa wore a Tuddle. Yes, I agree. And you must be a Jim Rome fan. I'm a clone just like yourself. I'm a big Jim Rome fan. Bubba the Love Sponge, I consider one of the elite broadcasters in radio, as well as Jim Rome. Jim Rome is amazing. I like Phil Hendry. Phil Hendry is one of the most unique broadcasters of all time. So I had that, and you can't forget about Howard. All those people that want to say Howard's sold out, Howard's fallen off, you know what? Fuck you. Howard is always going to be a legend. Howard will always be there. He's paved the way for all the radio shows that I've worked on, I've interned, co-hosted, or produced on. Howard paved the way for all of them. The other guy that I owe most of my radio career to. Thanks, Cold Hams. Yeah, Phil Hendry is the best. The other radio people, Ron Bennington and Fez Whatley, I got to give them all the credit in the world. They are the guys that helped me with the baby steps of my broadcasting career. They helped me get the foundation that I needed and helped me be able to go into that second internship that I had on the Monsters in the Morning. And I was able to come in there guns a-blazing with all the knowledge that I knew. Yeah. Ray B, what about Rollins? I love Russ. Me and Russ had a little bit of a hard time, and I made up for it. I got fired from a lot of radio jobs. I worked for 10 years in the same radio gig that I had for the longest amount of time at Clear Channel, which is now iHeartRadio. I was there, and then I got let go, and then I bounced back and forth from other radio shows. But yeah, Russ, I owe Ron and Fez, Ron Bennington, Fez Whatley, Russ Rollins, and then moving on to, I even know Drew Garabo back in 2003. Drew, I learned so much from Drew and cousin Scott. Scott was Scott Cochran, one of the most legitimately, naturally funny people that I've ever met in my life and had the opportunity to work with. Scott Cochran, also known as Cousin Scott, and working with him on the Drew Show. And I don't know if you guys remember, Make Him Say On, yeah? Make Him Say On was a great thing. Do you guys remember Melanie, who is now living in the Northwest around the Seattle area, ended up hooking up, getting married to Brian from the Phillips File. Do you guys remember Melanie? Please, Melanie, Melanie, Melanie from the Drew Show. Hopefully you guys remember him. Buddy, Tom Barrioso wrote, Hope you're having a good time, Thomas. But Melanie, I love Melanie. Melanie was great. I thought Melanie was some of the most untapped raw talent that I've seen in a really, really long time. And the only person I can even come close to comparing to Melanie from the Drew Show is Sabrina from the News Junkie. Sabrina from the News Junkie, who was on the Buckethead Show with Jason Bailey, didn't get a lot of opportunity on that show, but Sean Watson, who in my opinion is one of the most, I'll say right now, he is the most talented broadcaster, radio broadcaster in Orlando. He is a great talent. He knows what works. And Sabrina reminds me so much of Melanie from the Drew Show. All right, guys, I'm kind of rambling on. I'm getting tired. I hope this has been great. Melanie was great, Mike Draper. All right, guys, I'm going to take off. My podcast will be up tonight. Tuesday show will be up tonight at midnight. Check it out. I can be found. Search the Tuddle Podcast on all the popular podcast formats. iHeartRadio, which used to be Clear Channel, Spotify, and iTunes Podcast. Search the Tuddle Podcast. If you want to check out, I'm going to be streaming tomorrow, Raby. Thank you, Cold Hams. I'm glad you like it. But yes, if you want to check out the direct link, just search Tuddle.podomatic.com. That's Tuddle.podomatic.com. And that's the direct link to the website that hosts my podcast. Check out my video content. You're watching it right now. But subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please help me spread the word. Please say hi to your mom. Yeah, I'll say hi to her, Edward. I'll let her know and let Edward Regal know that you said hello. My mom will appreciate that. She watches all these live streams that I do on YouTube as well as my podcast. So if you're saying something to my mom, she'll definitely see it. But check out my podcast. Please help me spread the word. Like I've been saying, I'm not on the radio anymore, so I can't promote my stuff. I'm building my audience with my podcast, my YouTube channel, both with YouTube and my podcast. I'm picking up anywhere in between 3 to 5 new subscribers or listeners to my channel. So you guys talking about it, tell your friends or family, or go on your Twitter or Facebook. Let people know about my podcast and my YouTube channel, the live streams, and the Tuddle Daily Podcast. If you want to donate, all my content is free. Go to paypal.me. Go to my PayPal channel, paypal.me/Tuddle on the radio. I'll take $1. I don't care what it is. I know a lot of people have gotten let go. Unemployment is going to be high. But anything you can donate, it's all going to be reinvested back into my podcast to buy hardware, equipment, microphones, stuff like that. I want to get some Wi-Fi here at my house so the uploads will be a lot faster and you guys will get it. All right, guys, I miss you. I can't wait to get back on the radio, but I really, really, really cannot thank you guys enough for all the support you've given me with what I'm doing during my time out of radio. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Good night.